We wanna party, yeah, Biggie. We wanna party. Hi guys, it's your girl Chinwe Elibe, aka Champagne Mommy. Welcome to another episode of House Gist with Chinwe. Spill the tea. Guys, we just wrapped up week 5 in Big Brother's house, and believe me when I say week 5 was one for the books. It was an absolutely eventful week, you guys. So apparently the theme of week 5 was, of course, face your fears. But trust me, Biggie had a lot in store for the housemates. So apparently Tuesday morning we woke up to Biggie freezing the housemates and sending the ninjas into the house. Well, the ninjas did not come empty-handed. They came with earthworms. We had very hilarious reactions from the housemates to the earthworm prank Big Brother had in store. Rude Boy was absolutely freaking out. Missy, such a funny girl. So she woke up startled by the earthworms, and she literally, her reaction was so funny. Kola was all cringy. He couldn't even stand the thought of it. But I mean, Biggie's house, 150 million, you have to work for it pretty much. On Tuesday, the housemates started their diary sessions for the week, with Big Brother trying to find out what your fears actually are. It was such an interesting week, like I said earlier. Later on Tuesday evening, the housemates had the Munch Eat task. Congratulations, team, sweet surprise for bagging the win. Shout out to Bright Morgan, Denari, Faith, Isabella, and Imisi. Way to go, you guys. Congratulations on winning the Munchie sponsored task. Later on Tuesday evening, the housemates got up to a game of Lemon Lemon in the dining area. So the catch is, when it gets to you and you feel it's truth or dare time. And I had an amazing time watching that game. You guys, there were lots of crazy dares, there were lots of funny reactions. Missy was dead to twerk. You guys, her twerk was one for the books. The housemates had a lot of questions regarding Missy and Cola's relationship, and they cleared it up in more than one word that they are siblings. Rude Boy was asked in the game if he was going to pursue things with Thelma Lawson after the Big Brother experience. Well, he says no, he doesn't see himself pursuing things with Thelma Lawson outside of the house, which was very, surprising, seeing how he was chasing her. But trust me, that did not go unnoticed, because Thelma made sure he paid for that statement. Like, you guys know Thelma now, I got first daughter. On the other hand, Kola was also dead to peck the girl he likes in the house. So Dede was on the table, and we all know Kola likes Dede, but he seemed to have had a point to prove, because tell me why Kola goes to Thelma Lawson and gives her a peck on the cheek. Well, me, I'm here for it though. If this fish has chosen to swim away, let's see how far the fish is willing to swim. Because trust me, the fish did not even swim far on that same Tuesday night. Midway their games, Big Brother decides, you know what, face your fears, I'm gonna prank the housemates. So Biggie decides to prank the housemates, and he kept flickering the TV in the lounge area, and the housemates, the 10 over 10 housemates now, they know how to get in the vibe. They always bring the vibe for every occasion, and they did not fail to bring the vibe for the pranking. Shortly after the whole TV flickering thing, the alarm goes off. Didn't end there. The red telephone rings finally. Big Soso gets to it first. She takes the call. Nobody says anything. Rude Boy goes next. He takes the call. He just kept hearing ha 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 in the call. And then Koi takes the call last, and nobody says anything. Well, I'm hoping, or I'm guessing, that it was their lucky day, and Biggie was just up to playing pranks and not actually activating the red telephone like he promised us. Well, after the whole Robodia, after the whole game, truth or dare scare and all of that, the housemates retire for the night. But guess what, guys? Guess who ends up in Cola's bed that night? Then they said, this one, that my fish is going to peck another person inside the game. Let me go back and catch this fish. Oh. Dede goes to Colin's bed. They have some pillow talks and all that. It ends with Collar pecking Dede and assuring her that they're going to kiss at some point. And it was least expected, but then again, it was nice to see. And let's see how the relationship between Collar and Dede progresses as the game goes by. Hopefully, the ship eventually gets to sail. But if not, everywhere is still good, oh. Everywhere good, I beg. On Wednesday, the housemates get the X7 skincare task. Congratulations, Team X7 Skincare, for bagging the win on the S7 task for the season. Shout out to Sultana, Telma, Coing, Zita, Dinari, Ivata, Capable, and Bright Morgan. Way to go, guys. Congratulations on your X7 Skincare task win. Wednesday evening, Big Brother decides it's a good day to serve Tracy punishment. What she did, we still do not know. He told her not to discuss it with the housemates or us, the viewers. I'm guessing it's because she probably discussed the punishment she gave to the housemates when she was head of house, which was not allowed. But Tracy's punishment was she gets to wash the plate for the entire house the next day. As in, if you as a housemate decide to wash your plate, you're going to face punishment self for deciding to wash your plate. Tracy had to do the dishes for every single person. Look, I would have literally had a crash out. I don't know how she did it. She was still able to function at the pool party the next day, but trust me, it was no easy feat. What you mean wash plates? Biggie now. Haba. But I mean, well done, Tracy. Your resilience will definitely take you far. On Thursday morning, the housemates head to the arena, of course now, for their usual morning workout. Well, they came back into the house to meet a jump scare from Biggie's ninjas. This Biggie has really stressed my faves in this week. Oh, don't be small. Biggie, pardon my clients now. What is all this? You have really stressed them this week. Imagine coming out of the arena and the next day a ninja is spooking you, boo, with some scariest mask. Come on. Dinari he almost crashed out when he saw the ninja with the mask. Ruboy was already Jawsi, always guiding, like, you want to go, let's go now. I absolutely enjoyed the Face Your Fear weeks. Like, the whole theatrics is absolutely my thing. We saw a conversation between Dinari and Doris on Thursday morning. So apparently the previous night they had a bit of a lover's tiff, and on Thursday we saw them trying to resolve it, talking about better communication, let's communicate better. It was a light-hearted conversation anyways, and I'm out here rooting for my Donari shape. You guys, so the altar, send me a Shrebi. If possible, I go do Little Bride if you allow me. If you go allow me, I go do Little Bride for now. But Sha said my Ashrebi when the time is right. Still on Thursday morning, Mide and Dede have a light-hearted conversation. Look, you guys, my demigirls, I absolutely love them. We saw Dede trying to encourage Mide on Thursday because Mide was unsure of a couple of things and she was trying to encourage her to stay grounded in the game and remember why she's there. And if she thinks there's a need for her to continue to explore things with Bright Morgan, then she should by all means go on and continue exploring things with Bright Morgan. Like, there's just something about having your own person encouraging you every step of the way, good or bad, they're your cheerleaders. Like, I totally love that. I love to see seeing pure sister girl relationships is one for the books, trust me. On Thursday, Big Brother told the housemates that both teams have to have like a presentation for the Thriller dance. So they had a Thriller dance rehearsal session where they had to learn the dance on big screens, and the dance was to be performed on Friday, the next day, ahead of their wager and in line with the theme of the week, which was Face Your Fears. The housemates they did their best. They executed. Funny enough, they executed the dance real well the next day, but seeing them learn and try to get a grasp of it was just really funny to see. 10 over 10 housemates. Yo, I love you guys way too much. And you guys, you stay putting in the work, that's how it should be. That's what the Big Brother experience is all about. And I really do vibe with that 1000%. Doris, well, goes off complaining about Emisi on Thursday. Turns out they had a locker fight. Doris tells Emisi she could perceive an offensive odor coming from her locker area and asked her to smell her shoe if it was her shoe that was emitting that odor. And immediately Emisi instantly goes off on her like, are you crazy? Why would you see my shoe smelling? Well, Emisi finally decides to check her locker and sees that there's a bad pineapple in her locker that was bringing out that smell. So she could have just easily communicated it better with Doris, but you know Doris now. small body no be sickness. She decided to get her own lick back behind the message. Well, she should have done it to her face, so but if she said that back, she wanted to show herself. Who am I? I'm here for the drama at the end of the day. On Thursday evening, the housemates got the Bet King sponsored task. Yo! Congratulations, Team Blue, on winning the Bet King sponsored task. Shout out to Dinari, Kocha, Mide, Tracy, Joanna, Dede, and of course my baby girl, Zina. Congratulations, sweetheart. You guys, you absolutely deserve the win. I was rooting for Team Blue to win. And yes, did we win? Way to go, you guys. Congratulations. Shortly after the Bet King Arena Games, the housemates had their pool party. And listen, the pool party was super lit. These housemates did not even want to go back inside the house after Big Brother announced the party was what they kept saying, Biggie, we wanna party, yeah, Biggie, we wanna party. Emisi and Culture held it down. Like they gave us a show at the pool party. Every 10 over 10 housemates delivered their polling units at the Thursday night pool party. You guys, I absolutely rate it. But you know what? What's a pool party without an after party drama? This time around, Biggie was the one sponsoring the drama. Biggie sends in a midget, a little man, into the house dressed like a herbalist, literally there to spook the housemates and scare them. And this guy was laughing hysterically. You needed to see the housemates' reaction to the midget. They're from Big Soso in the corner shouting, Holy Ghost fire, Holy Ghost fire. I was like, go and bring your anointing oil now. Holy Ghost fire would not just cut it, So Bright Morgan for me, hard guy, this midget don't move me. To Kola, absolutely crashing out. Kola was like, don't come close to me. I don't want to fight you. Don't come close to Biggie. Want him. Don't come close. I don't want to fight you. I'm going to break it. I'm like, Kola, Zukwanuke. Relax. Not just small Nollywood props you see. I don't want to fight you. I don't want to calm down. Thursday night after party was so much fun in Biggie's house. On Friday, the housemates wake up to prepare for their wager presentation, of course. They get into their preparations on Friday. Same Friday afternoon, the housemates presented their thriller dance. And Friday evening, they head to the arena to present their wager presentation. And trust me, in my own opinion, the 10 over 10 housemates did deliver on their wager. But guess what? Biggie had other plans. A Night is Citrine actually stood out for me personally. I loved their storytelling. I loved the storybook twist they had to it. I love the concept of fear and facing your fear that they depicted in their wager presentation. Death Reading also had very solid material to work with, but A Night is Citrine was my winner. But Biggie apparently decided that the housemates had not impressed him enough to win their wager, and he decides, you know what, you lost your wager, no winners, just losers, which means what, guys? Hunger in week 6. You see what I was telling you, that Big Brother and his Greek gift are giving these housemates immunity. I've been nullifying their nominations last week. He decides you people will pay for this nullification that happened under my roof. No food, no pot winning, wager lost. I think you do this one, no. It's in my face, do you? Yeah, so the housemates, they lose their wager. Biggie gives special recognition to Doris, Sultana, Emisi, the housemates. Their spirits were low, but they knew they did their big one. They put in some good work, so they were able to snap out of it on time, and yeah, Don't stay stuck in a bad situation. We move regardless of what it is, it's what it is. After Biggie announces their wager loss, he decides that I'm not done with you. I'm going to spook you one more time before you step out of the arena. Tells them to approach the stage in the arena. Biggie sends his ninja to proceed with what they had planned. Pious, they unveil two light snakes. Like, yo, the housemates were a bit spooked. Sultana really was fascinated by the snakes Zita was running away from her real life cousins. Can you imagine this girl? How do you see snakes and run? How snake? How do you do a thing like that? Well, Biggie disperses the housemates from the arena. They go back into their house. Shortly after, a ninja or a snake handler comes into the house wielding a big ass python. Yo, the housemates were in disarray, running chaotic up and down, up and down. Next thing Biggie says, housemates move to the garden immediately. Housemates go to the garden, they lock the door. Biggie's ninja or snake handler does his thing, drops the cage there, and Biggie tells the housemates to go back into the house. Even though they were hesitant, he tells them to gather in the lounge. They all go into the house, and Biggie tells them he has left his pets in the house. So the housemates are to look for his pets, retrieve it, and put it back in the cage, the same cage that brought the snake that they saw in the arena. So which means they should be looking for a snake up and down. Next thing Obi started playing hissing sounds, depicting that the pet he left in the house was indeed a snake. Housemates were thrown into a frenzy. And then there's an actual snake in the house, Zita, making sure that Biggie's words are coming to pass. Zita decides it's time to pull a prank on the housemates and drops two snakes in the house. Well, two prop snakes. She puts one prop snake in the bathroom. The housemates immediately goes screaming, "There is a snake in the bathroom!" And then the other prop snake, she put it in the dressing room. The housemates found it and they decided that, you know what, these are the pets Biggie said he left in the house. They decided to relax. It turns out that Biggie did not indeed leave a snake in that house, because I mean, if there was still a snake roaming, they would have seen it by now for sure. So obviously Biggie was just messing with them, and he really got them good with that move. Later that night, Jason J decides to have a conversation with Doris and Big Soso, clearing the air on his dynamic with Sultana and his friendship with Dede as well. Big Soso realizes that indeed Jason J and Dede are just, friends. Like Jason said to her, it was just surface level friendship and not more to it. Big Soso admits to making a mess of the situation, confronting Dede like that, going off on her like that, carrying matter that did not concern her on her head, based off speculations without even knowing the facts of the matter. In Big Soso's words, that means I just hate on that girl for nothing. She regretted it, and I think the next day she went to Dede to have a conversation, because it came up again on Sunday that there was a conversation had to clear up the air, and Big Soso actually did apologize to Dede for the things that was said to her. I hope Dede is able to move on from it and forgive Big Soso, of course, at her own time when she's ready, because you don't beat a child and tell them how to cry. You can't force her to accept your apology because you just apologize. She has to process everything that has happened and decide on whether or not the apology is good enough for her. So yeah, well done to Big Soso, of course, for acknowledging her wrongs and being accountable for her actions. That's the first step to, being a better person. On Saturday, the housemates got the Gordon's sponsored task. Gordon's time. When they say Gordon's, you know what time it is. It's enjoyment time, you guys. Housemates got their Gordon sponsored task on Saturday. Congratulations, Team Moringa Citrus, for bagging the Gordon sponsored task win. Well done, guys. Way to go. After the Gordon's task, the housemates get their party brief. Biggie tells them, you know what, in line with the theme of the week, it's time to get ready. You've had an eventful week. Biggie decides to style them. They had a costume party for their Saturday night party, proudly sponsored by Guinness, of course. They had a costume party. It was so much fun. I loved how the housemates looked with Dede looking like Zero to Sultana giving Maleficent, Doris giving Medusa. Like it was so good to see Zita was Catwoman. Housemates were just in their element, and I absolutely enjoyed seeing that, you guys. After the Saturday night party, the housemates go back into the house. The mood is high. They're in good spirits. Isabella hints on trying to shake things up between Bright Morgan and Mide. Apparently, she has her eyes set on Bright Morgan. She was sharing it with Big Soso and Sultana, and those ones seems to be they seem to get the memo because they're trying to facilitate that move as soon as possible. I have an eye out watching actually to see how it all plays out. Hopefully Bright doesn't fall for it, but if he does, I am here for that. And I am here to tell you again that this is reason 2009 why you must do what? Fear me. Well, Faith had a candid conversation with Tracy still on that Saturday night. I mean, they said there's a saying that don't ask questions that you're not ready for the answers. Tracy said she wanted Faith to be upfront, brutally honest with her regarding how he feels about her. Faith says you are too needy, like you are too friendship centered, you're too dependent on friendship. Like he just gave her a real good read. I felt so sorry for her. Like you see me, I don't even want to be mean, so I'm not even gonna repeat the things he said word for word. But like Tracy said, she could take it, and she took it. She put on a big girl pants, and she took it in good spirits. They're in good terms now. Hopefully, it stays that way. But yeah, that was just Faith being brutally honest, and yeah, it's what it is. 10 over 10 for a reason. On Sunday evening, we had our live eviction show. Well, our live show. And since the housemates were not up for possible eviction, there were no evictions on Sunday evening. Just tables being shook, with Ebuka trying to find out the dynamic between Joanna, Faith, and Jason J, the dynamic between Sultana and Jason J. They claim that they are both friends. He asked Mide how she really felt about Dede because she had a couple of conversations about her pyro in the week. Dede did not understand why that was coming up, and I felt like Mide was going to clear things up with Dede after the live show, but we're still waiting for them to have that conversation. They've still not had it yet. So Ebuka telling Coin or asking Kola why he referenced Coin as a chihuahua. How about Mana? Coin was Coin was too stunned to speak. Till now, Coin has still not asked Kola the meaning of that statement. It's so wild, like to Ivata and Mensan going crazy the entire time during the live show, from just one question to Mensan to a couple of back and forths between Ivata and Mensan. Why? Because Mensan demands a very strong apology from Ivata, but Ivata is saying, I rather buy to apologize, and she did what? She stood on business. She didn't apologize. They kept having their back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. At some point, I'm like, you guys, please wrap it up. Even myself, I don't tire. If I don't want to be friends, don't be friends. It's okay if we should just coexist, abi, how do they say, cohabitate in the same house, abi, no be so. Friendship is not by force now. It was just a lot, honestly. He also shook the room boy and Thelma Lawson table. Please, Thelma is not interested in room boy in that way. Nobody should try that with Thelma Lawson. Not even Kuku know Thelma. She don't play. It was an interesting live show. After the live show, the housemates had their head of house challenge as usual on Sunday with Sultana. Sultana made me so proud. I was so happy to see her progress in the head of house games, her growth as a whole. When it comes to playing games, we know how salty can be. Sultana emerges as head of house for week 6. Well, that was short-lived. Sultana emerges as head of house, picks Big Soso to be house guests with her, but unfortunately, she could not retain her title on Monday as the head of house challenger. After the head of house games on Sunday, Sultana had a heart-to-heart, not like a heart-to-heart, but a conversation with Jason J, opening up to him for him to get to know her a little bit more. And she revealed to us that, she was married off quite young at the age of 15. She was a child bride, apparently. Imagine being a teenager and just having your teenage years cut short straight to marriage. She was married off at the age of 15. She has 2 daughters. That was such a discovery. One of her kids, a 9-year-old, one of her daughters is 9. It was just, I don't know. I felt, you see, I've never for once been one of those people that judge Sultana, right? And it just, having to hear her story, gave me more clarity on who she is as a person and why she does the things she do. Sultana, you're a strong woman. You've been through so much, and I hope the universe is kind to you moving forward. Way to go, girl. I admire your strength and your resilience. You are super amazing. On Monday, the housemates, they wake up, they're ready for the week. They're ready to take on the week and see what the week has in store for them. The theme of week 6 is bare minimum. Then they said, does that mean this is men's week? And yes, it's bare minimum for real. Big Brother has decided to take away their luxuries, their comfort, no couch, no beds, like they're sleeping on mats, sitting on stools. I'm saying wooden stools. They are cooking now with kerosene stove and charcoal stove. Can you imagine? He took out their washing machine. Like, no luxuries at all this week. Yo, what a time to be alive in Big Brother's house. Then we now saw Doris saying she praised Big Brother puts her in the same team, or she praised rather to be in the same team with Faith in this week, because she wants to give him home training in Big Brother's house. She wants to mother him, in her own words, like, he lacks home training, so she wants to be his mommy in the house and show him how things are done. I don't know whose luck it is. Maybe it's Faith's luck, because when it was time to pick out their teams, they ended up not being on the same team. Doris is in team 1, Faith is in team 2. Happy for them. I was really looking forward to seeing the both of them in the same team. Anyway, the housemates had their wager brief for the week. They had to make a presentation for the storyline, or rather, they had to share themselves in 2 teams and then run a skit each of 7 minutes. In both teams, the storyline is Johnny Just Come. So yeah, there's so much to look forward to. Let's see how the housemates are able to execute their wager task in this new week. Hopefully something better comes out of it, because mind you, they already lost their wager last week. They even went as far as losing their 7.5 million naira. So I'm hoping that in this week, this wager helps them to, bounce back from their prior loss, because it's no longer getting funny, trust me. Well, they had their head of house challenger. The challengers were picked via Lucky Dip. We had Faith, Emisi, Dede, Ivata, and Cohen fighting for the position of challenging Sultana for head of house. Unfortunately, Sultana was not able to sustain or defend her win, so she loses and concedes to Faith. Now, Faith is head of house for week 6. Imagine bare minimum week and having a tyrant like Faith as head of house in week 6. Hey, prayers up for my face. Faith is head of house for week 6, and he picks Joanna as his house guest. Let's see how Faith handles Big Brother's house in week 6. On Monday evening, the housemates had their live nominations as usual. The red envelope is back. The housemates had to hunt for the red envelope, with Mensan getting the envelope that carried the immunity. 3 weeks in a row, Mensan has got immunity. Back to back to back. Congratulations, Mensan. You absolutely deserve that. Look, this is just God, because the week he got most influential housemate, the immunity was pretty much useless. And now this week that, the nominations are for real, he got the immunity when it matters to him. Well done, Mensan. I'm so happy for him. Congratulations to you. Faith, as most influential housemate, had immunity for being most influential housemate and still went ahead to win head of house, which means double immunity. Nothing shake the guy at all. This means the entire house is up for possible eviction in week 6, except of course Faith and Mensan. Faith draws from the tree of trinkets and picks the power to save one only. Faith goes ahead and decides to save Zita. I was so happy. I'm like, yay, my girl is safe. One good turn truly deserves another. Remember, Zita saved him when she was head of house. Well, that came to pay off because from Zita's win as head of house, Mensan, Faith, Zita, three of them have carried immunity back to back to back. I absolutely love it. Zita is safe for the week. Zita, Faith, and Mensan are safe from possible evictions in week 6. Congratulations, guys, and good luck to the rest of the house. I hope you guys go out. Look, grab your phones, grab your tabs, do what you need to do. Vote your favorite housemates because trust me, on Sunday, the evictions, it won't be funny. This is not the week to say, oh, my favorite will be okay, let me relax. Go all out. Next week might be calmer than this week. So do what you need to do to save your favorite housemate in this week. Anyways, guys, thank you for sticking with me as always. On another note, the housemates lose their 7.5 million naira again. Imagine, which means they have lost cumulative of 15 million naira so far from their 80 million naira pot winning. As at week 6, the housemates' pot earnings still stand at 25 million naira. I don't know. Biggie, if you are going to dash them this money at the end of the day, please do what needs to be done. But I beg, stop reducing their money now. I beg, Biggie, give them their money. Because anyways, Biggie's house, Biggie's rules. So you know what, Biggie? Whatever you say, yes, sir. Your word is final. And that's some period. Anyways, guys, thank you for sticking with me. And until next time, I remain your favorite girl, Chinwe, aka Champagne Mommy. And this is House Gist with Chinwe. Spill the tea. Bye, guys. Enjoy the rest of your week. And I love you. See you in the weekend. Mwah.